Hey everybody, I know you've been waiting for me to get this video done for you as an introduction to your MAP80 course, and I apologize that it's taken me a while to do this on top of the other 5 classes that I'm teaching this semester. This one was probably the most difficult to actually put together. So if you don't know, your Canvas course shell, anytime you see a Canvas course, anytime you have one, it's up to your professor to put that together. So the college doesn't have some template with things in it that it's just a blank page. We can course copy from one course to another. You know, like we taught a course last year and we want to course copy that info that we already created, we can do that. But this class was a little bit different because anticipating or changing the format to being online for the first half of it and then on campus for the second half was a totally different switch and totally different than what we did, you know, last year. So in figuring all of that out and trying to put together your syllabus and then recreate, basically build a new Canvas course for you, it took a little while. So I know some of you have been really anticipating being able to get into that. So your Canvas course shell is now open. I'm going to share a couple of things really quick with you and then allow you to kind of go through it before we meet for our first Zoom session on Monday at 1:30. Okay, so remember this class, we're going to meet live 2 days a week, Mondays and Tuesdays, 1:30 to about 4:30 or so. We'll throw a couple of breaks in there as well. I can get a little bit long-winded and I get, you know, wrapped up into something and I just want to keep going and going and going, and I always have to tell myself to kind of stop and take a break and let you guys have a breather. And in an online format, that's really something that has to happen. I figured that one out pretty quickly. But what I want to do is I want to share the Canvas course shell with you that is now complete. Now I will say, being that this is all created by a human, there may be a mistake or two in here. I am not perfect. I do not aspire to perfection. However, I do aspire to do my best. So hopefully everything is in its right place. Hopefully all the dates of exams and checkoffs and that type of stuff all matches with the calendar, which also matches the syllabus. That is, of course, my intention, to get all of that to match up. If you do notice a mistake or something that doesn't make any sense, either email me, because that's the best way to get a hold of me. Either email me or let me know in a live session, like at the beginning of class or the end of class, and say, hey, Mr. Rich, there was a disconnect here, and let me know that. But this is where you're going to land in your course shell. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it to student view so that you can see exactly what you see. All right. So this is your home page, just a little bit of information on here. Obviously, you know, email is the best way to get a hold of me. I suggest you don't call me at my office phone. The majority of us are not going to be on campus for most of the semester until we do labs. You know, I do check my voicemail at school. However, usually that's maybe once a day if I need to. It's better to just email me and I'll get back to you that way. Typically, and some of you have already hopefully realized, I try to get back to you within a matter of minutes of you leaving me an email. There's a couple exceptions to that. Number one, if I'm teaching another class, then it's going to be a little bit of time before I get back to you. Or if it's typically after, you know, 8 o'clock at night, then I'm not answering you until the next morning. So otherwise, I try to answer you within a matter of minutes of you leaving an email. That way you can move on with your day, I can move on with mine. Okay? So these are the sections that you're going to have. And then I'm going to also point out right here on the left-hand side, the calendar. Very important to check the calendar. The calendar is going to give you your due dates. It also has links to where you click on an item in the calendar and it will link you to that assignment so that you can turn it in. You can do that multiple ways, but I'll show you how that kind of works in conjunction with your syllabus and in conjunction with your modules, okay? So we'll do that in just a second. The second page here is the syllabus. Now the syllabus has this course summary, and that also shows you due dates, and you can also link to the assignment. So like this first assignment is chapters 1 through 3 exam. So 3 different chapters in 1 exam. And if you click on that, it'll take you to that exam. Okay. And then when this is open, because all of your exams, so I'll get this out right now, all of your exams will be due by, what did I say? All of your exams will be due by Sunday night at midnight, but they will open on Friday. So they'll open at midnight on Friday. Now what that does for you is that gives you all day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 72-hour window to complete your exams and get those done. The important thing about that, though, is that once you start the exam, you have to finish the exam. You're on the clock. So these are timed exams. Being that we're doing most of those in an online format, obviously it can kind of be construed as an open book assignment. Because of that, I've timed these. So all of your exam questions are roughly 2 minutes per question is the time that you get to answer the questions. Once you start the assignment, you start the exam, you are now on the clock for whatever I set up as the allotted time. Okay, so if you have 30 questions, then you have 60 minutes to complete the exam, as an example. So what you need to do between Monday and Sunday midnight is you need to plan to set time aside so that you can do the exam and nothing else. You need to be undisturbed for that hour of time if it's the 30-question quiz, okay? That changes for the final exam, and we'll talk about that later when we get closer to that, okay? So you can definitely link to it from that syllabus section. When the exam's open, it'll say up in the right-hand corner, like start exam or submit exam, and then you can start it there. So that's one connection that you can make to get to these gradable assignments. You also have the syllabus. If you click this open, then you will get a Word document of the syllabus. Now, I've already pulled that one up, so I'm going to open that and kind of show you real quickly, but we'll go over this on Monday first thing. This is your syllabus. It's got good, useful information on it. I highly suggest that you take a look at it before Monday if you get a chance. It also gives you what the point totals are for the class. I know this seems like a lot. Don't worry about it. I have to compute all that stuff, so I'm keeping track of it. Then it gives you kind of the day-by-day breakdown on the syllabus, when things are due as well. And you'll notice I've been saying that the first 8 weeks would be online. It's actually the first 9 weeks are online, and the second 7 weeks are going to be on campus doing hands-on laboratory work, okay? So you'll see that the first 9 weeks here, you know what you've got. And then the second 7 weeks is the on-campus labs. That starts on Monday the 26th of October, and you'll see what we'll be doing. In between all of that, too, some of these lectures on these Mondays and Tuesdays in the online format, myself and my instructional aide, Ken White, we will be on campus in your lab demonstrating some of the equipment, showing you around the lab a little bit so that you become a little bit familiar with it before you even walk in. So we're going to be doing that for you. I'll let you know which days those are going to be, but we'll be in the lab doing some of our live Zoom sessions. And then once we're in the lab as a class, these are the things that we're going to be doing. We're also going to be monitoring you for COVID, probably a very quick couple of questions and a temperature check. We will have N95 masks available for you if you need them. Highly encourage you to bring your mask if you're not already doing that. Wherever you go and you step outside, you need to be doing that when you come to class. But we will have some N95 masks available for you if you need them while you're in class. Okay, so Basically gives you a little bit of a breakdown of, well, it gives you a total breakdown of what the class looks like. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the Canvas module. Okay, so that's where you find your syllabus stuff. Assignments, same thing. You'll be able to link to your assignments from here. So you've got one link in your syllabus section. You've got another link to assignments right here, so you can open these and take an exam. You've got your grades right here. Only you can see your grades. Okay, quizzes have their own separate thing. Same thing. You can access a quiz from this point. Any pages that I might have created or posted, which your welcome is a separate page that I created. So probably the most important thing other than the syllabus that you need to understand is the modules section. The modules will have a whole bunch of information for you. And I'm going to give you a tip. When you open this up, all of your modules will be open like this. Here is my tip. This little down arrow right here will close that so that you don't see what's hiding in that module for that week. My advice is that you go through and close those and only open them as you go so that you stay on top of what week is what, okay? So I like to do that because then that way I stay focused and my, my undiagnosed ADD doesn't kick in and I start looking at all kinds of other weeks. Okay, so if we just close all of those up, then you end up with all of these things closed, and then you can just open one at a time as you go. Okay, so see, now they're all closed. It tells you what week is what. It tells you what dates we are meeting on Mondays and Tuesdays. Okay, and the first section is called Additional Resources. This has a boatload of items that myself and Ken have put in here for you to peruse. I just want to go through a couple of things real quick. Your Zoom classroom link is right here. So on Mondays and Tuesdays when we're online, all you have to do is the same link every Monday and Tuesday. So all you have to do is go to this link, open that, and it'll take you to our Zoom session where I will be. I know Ken is going to join us for some of the sessions as well. Office hours are going to be virtual office hours. If you open that up, you're going to get my office hours. And you'll see they're Monday through Thursday. And, oh, I didn't put the Zoom link on there for you. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to change that. I will update this. There will be a Zoom link attached to this. And all you have to do is click on that link or copy the link and paste it. It'll take you to the office hours Zoom session. These are the times that I will be online for office hours. Okay. So I will change that as soon as we're done here. Student support guide, useful information about things the college has to offer you, different services, that type of thing. Reshaping your school schedule during remote instruction is something the college put together for you. It's got some tips and advice there. If you haven't done virtual learning or if you're new to virtual learning, then there's some stuff in there for you too. There's a link to the college's CARE program, which offers you some basic needs that you can get if a student is struggling with food insecurity or housing insecurity or something like that. The college does have some resources for you, so you can check that out. There's instructions here to get an ID card. We'll talk about that more on Monday as well. I will say it's definitely more for the nursing program because they have to have IDs to get into their facilities for their clinical rotations. Not all of our rotations require that, but I think it's probably not a bad idea to get the ID issued by the college. Stuff Happens certificate, we'll talk about that on Monday as well. The MAP handbook, which Mallory had sent to all of you guys, is also available here. There is a COVID update in the handbook as well. We'll go over that. And then a whole bunch of other things here, all right? And a bunch of other things that I'm going to be using throughout the semester with you, but you're more than welcome to take a look at them now, okay? And then if you go to week 1, and all the weeks kind of look like this. If you go to week 1, it shows you what we're going to be doing. The syllabus will tell you what we're doing on each day. But on day 1, I know we're going to do some introductions. I'm going to go over the syllabus, make sure that we don't have any questions on that. Probably run through this again real quickly. But then I'm going to get into Chapter 1 PowerPoint. So I'm going to give you a live lecture, and I'm going to try to make it as interactive as possible, too. I want you guys to participate. One of the things that I will tell you, and I think Ken will agree, is that you as a cohort of students that are doing the same thing and looking to achieve the same goal of becoming medical assistants, you're going to become a family. And unfortunately, Ken and I are going to be like Papa Bear. I'm a Papa Bear number 1 and Papa Bear number 2. And you're going to be our family for this year. And you guys are going to develop a very close relationship because we work with one another very closely. And we're going to be spending a lot of time with each other, okay? So I want our live lectures to be as interactive as possible and for all of us to get to know one another, okay? So these are your PowerPoints. I abbreviate them from here on out as PPT. So PowerPoint presentations, those are what I'm going to base my lectures off of. So those are all open. And here's another link to your exam. This is probably what I would do if it were me. And I had an exam due on Sunday night at midnight, then I would probably just come to my modules and open it from here. That's what I would do. But you have 3, 4 places actually where you can access these things. This is probably where I would go just to keep it simple, okay? So that's week 1. When we finish week 1, I would close that up and roll into week 2. So we just keep everything closed and only concentrate on what we're doing that week, okay? We're going to cover 4 chapters in week 2. So I'm going to do 2 lectures on that Monday and 2 lectures on that Tuesday. And then you'll have another exam due by Sunday night at midnight. Now, this definitely changes when we get online. So on October 26th, we're going to start to meet virtually. Okay, and when we start to meet virtually, again, we're going to have some safety protocols, some COVID protocols in place. You will be well aware of how that's going to work before you show up on October 26th. So let's take a look at what our weeks will look like when we're on campus for our on-campus labs. All right. So a little bit different because most of the lecture and theory is going to be done in that first 9 weeks. I only have 2 lectures in this group of items that are on campus. So this is where we're going to start getting into things like aseptic hand washing techniques. And you're going to have to come on campus. We're going to do practice and checkoffs on that. Removing contaminated exam gloves. We're going to practice and do checkoffs on that so that you can show that you're proficient in doing that. November 2nd and 3rd, we're going to do taking a patient history. How do we take that and document a patient history? We're going to do a Snellen distance eye exam, and you're going to check off on your proficiency on how to do that. And these are going to be things that Ken and I will be on campus during that first 9 weeks where we'll show you all of this stuff and we'll demonstrate it for you. I think we're going to record these as videos too so that you can go back and watch them before we actually do these things in class on campus. So you can take a look at that and see what's in there. There will be 2 chapters covered, one on urinalysis and another one on some like employment strategies and pre-employment stuff that I'm going to have you do some homework over the winter break in anticipation of going out on your externship and then possibly looking for a job. So you're going to have homework over winter break. Not a lot. It's actually kind of fun because you're going to be building something that you can take with you from here on out and hopefully help you find a job in the healthcare profession. Okay? So that's basically what your Canvas course shell looks like. Now I'm going to tell you, and then maybe I should demonstrate this for you as well. Your textbook. This is a really big, it's probably about 3.5 pounds or so. I like to call it the 8-pound textbook, but I don't think it's quite that much. This is your Bible. You need to get this. You need to purchase this. If you haven't done it already, you need to get on it. This book is going to be the resource and the reference that I use. It's a resource and reference that you can use from here on out. It's got wonderful information in it. It's got a lot of different exercises in it. One of the questions that gets asked of me a lot is, before these chapter exams, are you going to do a chapter review or some kind of a study guide for us? And the answer is no, I don't do that. First of all, you're in college, and study guides are actually in here. So what I mean by that is that at the beginning of every chapter, there's usually, it's termed either learning objectives or chapter objectives, okay? That's your study guide. Whatever the objectives are that the author intends you to get out of this is what they're saying you need to know, okay? So if you have chapter objectives or learning objectives at the beginning of the chapter, they're telling you, this is your study guide. This is what's important to know and remember. These are the important theory topics that you need to commit to memory. So that's your study guide, is the objectives that the chapter set forth for you. That's why I don't create study guides. They've already done it for me. I don't have to do it. Okay? So take that little bit of advice. That's what your study guide is your chapter objectives. Now, if you haven't gotten a textbook yet, why don't I show you, because maybe you don't know how to access this, but I'm going to walk you through it real quick, okay? So in doing this, if you go to the college's website, the best way to find any information at MiraCosta is to just go to the A through Z index and search what you're looking for. That's my opinion. That's what I do. Okay. So if I know that I need to go to the bookstore, then I go to B and I go to the bookstore at the Oceanside campus. Okay. And that's where our classes are. We're not at the San Elijo campus. So go to the bookstore, OC. Okay. And then textbooks, little tab right there, textbooks, hit that one. Okay, you can see I've already been searching for books. So I want to look at MAP, so it says shop by course. Department, MAP, Medical Administrative Professionals. Okay, and let's look at MAP80. And it says select a section. Okay, so let's just select the first one. And then what it'll do is it'll pull this up for you and it tells you what I just showed you, right? Here it is, right here. Okay, so it says a brand new textbook's $100. Again, this is a big textbook, right? A lot of work went into creating this. There's 1,500 pages in this textbook. So it's $100 new, $53 used. You can also get the digital version. Here's my advice. My advice is always this. I don't care if you buy it from the bookstore. I don't make any money off of this. So I don't care where you get this exam or this textbook. If you can find it cheaper than any of these prices, get it cheaper. The question is also going to be, do I care if you get the hard copy or a digital copy? I don't care. If you want to get a digital copy, that is fine with me as long as you have this text. I don't care what format you have. Okay, I'm partial to having a paper version of it, a hard copy version of it, but I have both. But I just find myself, it's easier for me to actually look through textbooks and open pages, and I just like it that way. I'm old-fashioned. I'm old, so I like it that way. So I don't care what you do. Again, I don't care if you buy it from the bookstore or not. Doesn't matter to me. Get it wherever you can get it the cheapest. So if that's purchasing it on Amazon, if that's purchasing on Chegg, Another good one is called betterworldbooks.com. Wherever you can get it, if you can get it cheap, I don't care if it's new or used, doesn't matter. Just get your textbook, okay? I think I'm going to kind of leave it at that. Let me see my notes, make sure I covered everything, and I did. So I look forward to seeing you guys on Monday. Access the online class through the Zoom link in Canvas. And I am going to change the office hours posting that I did. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys. I'm so excited to get class started. My two favorite days of the year are first day of the semester and graduation day. So Monday, I'm going to be chock full of energy and excited and ready to go. 1:30, that's when MAP80 is. 1:30, we'll go until about 4:30 or so. If we can get done a few minutes early, that's fantastic. We'll try. But usually the first week or two, that's a little bit difficult because there's a lot of stuff to cover. So I look forward to seeing you guys. Have a great weekend. Get some rest because from here on out, there's going to be a lot of work to do.